Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat er nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Welcome to another episode of Opa's Corner. I'm premiering a new segment called Opa's Corner, Believe It or Not. I hope you enjoy.
The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. These are the kinds of subjects a man named Robert L. Ripley challenged us to believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, you.
Wally, believe it or not.
Believe it or not.
Believe it!
You're a loony.
Did you know there's a basketball court on the top floor of the U.S. Supreme Court building? Its nickname, you guessed it, the highest court in the land. Believe it or not. Harvard might be hard to get into with a 4.5% admittance rate, but try this on for size. Only 2.6% of Walmart applicants are accepted. How about them apples? Believe it or not. A lifetime Cleveland Browns fan and season ticket holder requested in his obituary for 6 Cleveland Browns pallbearers at his funeral. Why? So the Browns can let him down one last time. Believe it or not. Lake Superior State University in Michigan offers a unicorn hunting license. Unsurprisingly, the chief herald of the unicorn hunters was once quoted saying, "The pursuit of the unicorn is a lonely quest. We wish them nothing but good luck." Believe it or not. An art collector once paid $10,000 for a non-visible sculpture created by actor James Franco. The artwork was billed as an endless tank of oxygen. Yeah, it's called air. We're breathing it now, for free. Believe it or not. It officially takes 364 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Well, at least according to engineering students' scientific endeavor at Purdue University, who used a proprietary licking machine rather than a human tongue. Believe it or not. In the small town of Dorset, Minnesota, where a new mayor is picked every 2 years by drawing names out of a hat, a 3-year-old named Robert Tufts was elected mayor in 2015. His governing style? Being nice and no poopy talk. In 2024, I think we can all agree that the world could use more Robert Tufts in higher office. Believe it or not. The Cookie Monster has a real name. It's Sid. No, seriously. Believe it or not. China censored the word for censorship. I guess you can't be guilty of a crime if nobody can describe what it is. Believe it or not. Barry Manilow didn't write his hit song, I Write the Songs. And before he recorded it, Barry didn't even think it was a particularly good song. Believe it or not. You're twice as likely to be killed by a vending machine than a shark, according to the New England Aquarium. So, when is the Discovery Channel premiering their Vending Machine Week? Believe it or not. The blob of toothpaste that sits on your toothbrush has a name. It's called a nurdle. Believe it or not. You can hire a clown in Switzerland to stalk your kid and creepily smash a cake into their face on their birthday. Seriously, as if nice clowns weren't terrifying enough. Believe it or not. Britain's Secret Intelligence Service once hacked an Al-Qaeda website and replaced the bomb instructions with a cupcake recipe. Believe it or not. Monowi, Nebraska is the only town in the United States with an official population of 1 person. Yes, she owes taxes to herself. She's in her 80s and she's employed as the village's mayor, librarian, and barber. Believe it or not. Calvin Coolidge, the 30th U.S. president, thought it was hilarious to push the emergency buzzer on his desk and then hide when the Secret Service came running. Believe it or not. In 2012, a man wore 60 shirts and 9 pairs of jeans on an 11.5-hour flight from China to Africa because he didn't want to pay the extra baggage fee. Believe it or not. A town in Washington has a treetop bridge over a busy road that's just big enough for squirrels. It's called the Nutty Narrows Bridge. Admit it, that's undeniably funny. Believe it or not. There's a village in southern Norway actually named Hell. And get this, every winter it freezes over. Believe it or not. A U.S. constitutional amendment was proposed in 1893, suggesting that the country be renamed the United States of Earth. There was another failed amendment a few years prior that wanted to abolish the presidency and install a Roman-style triumvirate. As if the United States needed any more comparisons to the doomed Roman Empire. Believe it or not. According to a 2014 survey by a Christian retailer, Lifeway, in Nashville, 7% of Christian Americans pray for a parking space. Believe it or not. The actual U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has a real website devoted to zombie preparedness. Believe it or not. It would take 76 workdays, if you work an 8-hour day, to read every online privacy policy you agree to in an average year. Believe it or not. When high-heel shoes first came into fashion in the 10th century, they were intended for men. It wasn't until the 18th century that more women wore high heels than men. Believe it or not. A dairy cow will produce up to 3% more milk when listening to music. But they don't like country music, especially Willie Nelson. They need something with a good beat. Believe it or not. And now for the funnies. At the Rubberman factory. If Congress shuts down the government, our business is going to go through the roof. Whack a Congress member. Bop. Well, as we suspected, you've got a slow leak. Michelin. I think of it as bringing the sofa into the art world. Gesundheit. I'm sorry. I can't do anything about squatters. Bear commercials. You were just in the woods. I'm not gonna go in there. Go ahead, Frank. I used Pine Fresh Febreze. Laser dot finals. Crunchy dead rats. Yes, will you accept a collect call from a Mr. Ah! Say, wasn't there supposed to be a couple of holes punched in this thing? According to my research, when a kitty has his tail up, it means it's happy. Bad kitty! The bad news is we lost your suitcase. The good news is we found it for sale on eBay. Cat Food Network. As always, we're going to end the show by knocking all this stuff on the floor. No, that's not my family. That's how many people I've hit. Criminy, talk about overstaying your welcome, John. Open the door and turn the porch light on. See if that gets rid of them. Oil. Oil. For a very brief period, medieval scientists were known to have dabbled in the merits of cardboard armor. This isn't nearly as comfortable as the comics make it out to be. Achoo! I sneezed so hard, I think I reset my brain to factory settings. Parole board. If we let you out, how do we know you won't want to come right back in? Cat's Meow Jewelry. This pendant looks good on a gold or silver chain. Or she can just put it on the floor and bat it around the house. I like that. It's versatile. Chef Boyardee gets an idea. Luigi, where is Chef Ravioli? He's in the can. The following program may be offended by some viewers. Would you like almond milk in your coffee? No, I'll have the other kind.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Shut up, Mike. Kitty Corp Bank. Just put the money in the bag and nobody gets wet. Zed's Garage. You say it's a clink, clink, clunk noise? That's gonna be $200. But if it's a clink, clank, bonk noise, then you're looking at least $500. Now, if it's Oh, Larry, I think you should look up Nice and Easy and see what's right over your head. This is no use, Wanda. It's like they say, we just don't have lips. I'm afraid you need to see a brake specialist. I replaced my rooster with a duck. Now I wake up at the quack of dawn. And that concludes another Opa's Corner.
Mein Hut, der hat 3 Ecken. 3 Ecken hat mein Hut. Und hat nicht 3 Ecken, dann ist es nicht mein Hut.
Opa's Corner is now available on my own YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe.